For centuries, one question has divided households, sparked debates, and made us all wonder, who truly understands us better, cats or dogs? Is it the loyal companion who stares into your soul with what looks like pure love? Or is it the mysterious feline watching you from across the room, as if it knows all your secrets? Today, we're diving deep into the psychology, evolution, and hidden intelligence of both animals. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one understands humans the most, and why. Let's start with a little history. Dogs have a 30,000-year head start. They live beside humans not just as pets, but as true partners. Ancient humans and wolves hunted together, slept near each other for warmth, and slowly built a bond that would change evolution forever. Over thousands of years, those wolves became the dogs we know today. And in that process, dogs developed an incredible, almost unique ability to interpret human behavior. They can read our gestures, our facial expressions, our tone of voice, our stress levels, and even the chemistry of our bodies. Dogs literally evolved alongside us, learning to understand us almost like another human does. Cats, on the other hand, took a completely different path. They didn't become our companions because we hunted together. They approached humans for one simple reason: food. Thousands of years ago, when early farmers started storing grain, that grain attracted mice, and all those mice attracted cats. Being the efficient hunters they are, the cats stayed close. But here's the key difference. Humans didn't really train cats. In a way, cats train themselves. They remain independent, territorial, strategic survivors. So today, the average cat doesn't rely on humans for direction. Instead, cats observe us quietly, and they only respond when they decide it's necessary. They understand us, they just don't show it in the same obvious way that dogs do. So who understands our words better? Let's look at the science. An average dog can learn between 100 and 250 human words. Some truly genius dogs have learned over 1,000. They understand their name, commands like sit and stay, phrases that are coded with emotion, differences in our tone, and even the intention behind our words. When a dog hears "let's go for a walk," it knows exactly what's about to happen, and the tail starts wagging. Now for cats. Cats absolutely recognize your voice. They know their name, they know familiar sounds, they can read your tone and emotional energy. But here's the kicker. They don't obey verbal commands because they were never bred to. Instead of rushing to respond, a cat hears you and then decides, is this worth my time? So in the category of verbal understanding, dogs win by a pretty wide margin. But what about body language? This is where things get really interesting. Dogs are absolute experts at reading our macro body language. They look at your arms, your hands, your face, and your overall posture to figure out your mood. A slight frown or a heavy sigh can make a dog genuinely concerned. A big smile can get them excited and ready to play. A tense posture can instantly alert them that something might be wrong. Cats, however, are masters of micro movements. A cat watches your eyes shift from one side of the room to the other. They notice your shoulders rise just a tiny bit when you're stressed. They can tell the difference in the sound of your footsteps when you're tired versus when you're energized. They even pick up on how your breathing slows or speeds up. Cats are pattern detectors. They notice the subtle habits that you don't even realize you have. That is exactly why your cat knows you're about to get up from the couch before you've even consciously decided to move. So while dogs read our emotions through body language, cats analyze our intentions. They understand us not emotionally, but instinctively. This brings us to the big one, emotional understanding. This is where the debate gets really heated. Dogs are what you might call emotional. Synchronizers, they often react to our emotions instantly. When you cry, they come over to comfort you. When you're stressed, they stay close by your side. When you're happy, their energy rises to match yours. Dogs can literally smell the changes in your hormones. They can detect stress, sadness, illness, and even pregnancy. This makes dogs incredibly tuned into us emotionally, almost like a family member. Cats are more like emotional observers. They don't typically mirror our emotions back to us. Instead, they observe them. When you're sad and quiet, A cat might come and sit nearby, not necessarily to comfort you, but because your calm, quiet energy feels safe to them. When you're stressed and tense, many cats will actually move away because they sense that tension and prefer to avoid it. But some cats absolutely do show affection during emotional moments. They'll curl up on your lap or sleep right next to you. This isn't an act of obedience. It's a genuine connection, but it's always on their terms. So who wins? For emotional synchronization, it's dogs, hands down. But for pure emotional perception and sensitivity to energy, cats are surprisingly good at reading the room. So for this round, we have to call it a tie. What about social intelligence? Humans are social creatures, so which pet understands our social world better? Dogs evolved in packs. They understand hierarchy, teamwork, and group behavior. So when they joined human society, they adapted incredibly quickly. They get eye contact, social cues, play behavior, affection, leadership roles, and deep emotional bonds. Dogs essentially treat humans as part of their pack. Cats, on the other hand, evolved as solitary hunters. They don't follow leaders. They don't need teamwork. They're built to navigate the world alone. But something remarkable happened when they started living with humans. Cats created a whole new microsocial structure just for us. They learned to meow in a way that mimics the cry of a human baby to get our attention. They rub against us to mark us as part of their trusted circle. They use the famous slow blink to show affection and trust. And they sit near us for a sense of comfort and security. Cats became social, but only with the specific humans they trust. So, who wins? For fitting into our broad social structures, dogs are the clear winners. But for creating a deep, one-on-one intimate connection, cats are incredibly profound. Finally, let's talk about understanding our routines. This is where cats might just surprise everyone. Dogs follow your routine. They learn to wait for feeding time, for walks, for playtime, and for you to come home from work. They understand schedules because they rely on us to lead the way. Cats, however, predict your routine. Without being trained, and without necessarily depending on you, a cat knows when you typically wake up, often just moments before your alarm goes off. They know the sound of your car and when you usually return home. They know your sleeping habits, your bathroom schedule, your emotional patterns, and your daily movements around the house. Cats don't just follow patterns, they analyze them. This gives them a unique advantage. They understand the entire flow of your life without you ever having to teach them a thing. In this category, the win goes to the cats. So after looking at verbal understanding, emotional intelligence, body language, social connection, and routine prediction, who truly understands humans better? Here's the final verdict. If the question is about communication, understanding our words, our gestures, and our explicit emotions, dogs win. They are masters of direct communication. But if the question is about reading our patterns and predicting our behavior, being observant, strategic, and subtle, then cats win. They are silent analysts of our lives. But overall, the animal that truly understands humans most deeply is the one you bond with. Dogs understand us like teammates, ready to act on our cues. Cats understand us like observers, knowing our next move before we do. Both have evolved beside us in completely different ways, and both, in their own unique style, have mastered the art of understanding the strange, unpredictable creatures called humans. If you enjoyed this deep dive into animal intelligence and want to see more cats versus dogs content, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.